From New Delhi's standpoint, perhaps the most contentious aspect of President Donald Trump's February 6th executive order rescinding the punitive tariff of 25% over India's purchase of Russian oil is how the US will monitor India's compliance. The fact that the US will monitor India at all in its oil purchase decisions is politically fraught for Prime Minister Narendra Modi because it plays into his opposition's narrative that he has essentially buckled under Trump's pressure. However, the official text of the executive order on the White House's website makes for a much more nuanced reading. It is true that the Secretary of Commerce is tasked with the monitoring in coordination with the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Treasury, and any other senior official the Secretary of Commerce deems appropriate. Crucially, even if the Commerce Secretary finds that India has resumed directly or indirectly importing Russian Federation oil, he has to consult with a whole bunch of his colleagues to recommend any action to the President. The executive order says that the Commerce Secretary has to consult the Secretary of State, the Treasury Secretary, the Commerce Secretary, the Homeland Secretary, the United States Trade Representative, the Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs, the Assistant to the President for Economic Policy, and the Assistant to the President and Senior Counselor for Trade and Manufacturing. Together, they can recommend, and I quote now, whether and to what extent President Trump should take additional action as to India, including whether he should reimpose the additional ad valorem rate of duty of 25% on imports of articles of India, unquote. These may seem like many shock absorbers before it hits India, but in reality, all of these cabinet members can very quickly fall in line if the president chooses to act suddenly and quickly.